How you doing? Welcome. It is the So I'm Not So Sure About Medical Marijuana program. I'm Rusty Humphries. Really here for no reason at all.
He's the most important guy
He's the
here.
star of the show. He's Dr. James McEntire. He actually knows what he's talking about. I have no clue about this stuff. None whatsoever. Never been drunk or high in my life. Have really no interest in it. However, I am interested in people who are suffering of pain issues and want to know more about medical marijuana. So that's why we're doing the show. By the way, we are sponsored by a great company, ReLeaf Dispensary. They are where, Doc James?
ReLeaf Dispensary is located in Grandview, Missouri. You can find them online at reliefmo.com, or you can find them in Grandview, Missouri, off of 71 Highway at the 140th Street exit.
What if I was wanting to get my medical marijuana card in Missouri? What would I do, Doc Mac?
Well, nearby ReLeaf Dispensary is the Green Pot Clinic Progressive Osteopathic Therapies Clinic, and they're a alternative medicine clinic that can get all of your medical licensing needs taken care of in one stop.
Progressive Osteopathic Therapies?
Progressive Osteopathic Therapies.
Huh, what is that?
Since I'm a DO, I'm an osteopathic physician. Progressive Osteopathic Therapies, POT. There might be some reason behind that name.
Clever. All right, so I was just on the phone with a friend of mine, and she is in pain, and I said, you know what? I'm not so sure about the medical marijuana thing, but I'm hearing a lot of stuff. I'm talking to Doc Mac, and he's telling me that this stuff really helps with pain. And she said, well, I mean, I don't want to be in pain, but I don't want to get high. Do you got to get high to be dealing with medical marijuana?
Absolutely not. There's many different ways to administer medical marijuana for your specific needs. Microdosing is becoming more and more understood and recognized as small dose sequential administration to maintain pain control without causing the high feeling or the altered mental processing that you get by over-consuming. So microdosing, as well as anything that you can absorb through your skin due to the metabolic pathway that it's processed, it's impossible to get high from a transdermal or a topical salve.
Okay, so what you're saying is that when you get high, you've taken too much?
You've taken more than the therapeutic need.
Mm-hmm.
So your body has a therapeutic window, and if your dose is within that therapeutic window, you get relief without a side effect known as high.
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal.
So I'm guessing I'm going to need a lot more theoretically than a 100-pound woman.
That's correct.
So is there a way to generally say, don't go over this limit and you'll get the pain taken care of, but not get high?
Yes, there's some guidelines we follow, but things such as body size and experience, people that are marijuana naive, which means they don't have any experience using it, obviously are going to need smaller dosing than someone that's been using marijuana on a regular basis for weeks or months or years.
Is there any kind of a general thing off the top of your head you can say, a guy, 200-pound guy as opposed to a 100-pound woman, what they would want to be looking at?
Sure, you're going to be microdosing in the range of 5 milligrams. If it's not something you can tolerate, you could even dose down to 2.5 milligrams of an edible, for instance.
Okay, so a joint, which is that the official term? No, that would be a marijuana cigarette, correct?
Marijuana cigarette, a joint. You can.
I'm trying to be medical here.
You can consider it flour, dried flour.
Okay, so how much is that usually? Depending, I mean, I'm not talking about Snoop Dogg size. I'm talking about normal.
So you're going to be trying to determine if you're going to smoke flour through a paper rolled cigarette joint or through a pipe or a water pipe or some type of a other device.
Don't you love a doctor trying to explain this?
Trying to use it in as proper and
the paper rolled device or joint.
Yeah. So you're wanting, when you're smoking, to use 1 or 2 small inhalations, and that should be adequate. It's going to be more rapidly absorbed than an edible, so you get a faster onset of action, but a more rapid.
Okay, so just because you roll a big fatty doesn't mean you got to smoke the whole thing.
you do not have to smoke the whole thing.
Probably shouldn't.
And I would advise against that altogether, yes.
Okay, and then another one would be those infused beverages we talked about a couple weeks ago, I would think, where you could have a better idea of the dosage pretty easy, right?
Correct. So some products can be purchased with actual dosing lids on them. Some you have to measure it more accurately if they do not. And obviously, what we talked about, that 5 milligram range is where a naive patient is going to start out.
Okay, so the advice here is, and we've talked about this before, go slow, right? Take a little bit at a time.
Low and slow.
Low and slow. And again, the idea is to take care of the pain or the anxiety, not to get all partying it up.
Right, so we use the term medicated, not intoxicated.
Ooh, I like that, and it rhymed.
It did.
That was good. That was good. All right. Hey, we sure appreciate you seeing. You watch the show because he's smart. He knows what he's doing. I don't know that he's the hippest guy in the world, but he's pretty cool.
Definitely not.
By the way, I heard you have a world record in something. Don't say what it is. Is that true?
It is true.
Next show. What does Doc Mac have a world record in? I hope it's not smoking big fatties. I smoked 14 at one time. Okay, that's not it?
That's not it.
Okay, we'll find out what it is next time. Subscribe to the program, hit the notification, go to ReLeaf Dispensary where?
In Grandview, Missouri. They're located on 71 Highway, right off the 140th Street exit.
Website is?
ReLeafMo.com.
If I want to get a medical marijuana card, what do I do?
You need to get a hold of Doc Mac, and he can be found at thegreenpotclinic.com on Facebook and the World Wide Web. Also working through the parent company Progressive Osteopathic Therapies.
We'll catch you next time. I'm Rusty Humphries. That's Dr. James McEntire, and this is So I'm Not So Sure About Medical Marijuana podcast.